It's been a fortnight since I got like 4 or 5 times faster at things than I used to be. There's a lot that we seem to be improving at. But you, in fact, are just a human being with a lot of needs. Foundational, survival type things. Like a cat in the jungle, running to something you can get but doesn't seem to be staying in place long enough for you to get your grasp around it. We can't amount this life to anything if we can't figure out that we're nothing in the grand scheme of all of it. I'd like to get a little bit real. I'd like to steal the things that we melt down and try to put them back in their places. I'm back in the basement. I've been in the basement, got my shoes that I'm lacing. In the Image Clothing Company, it mustn't be just a cup of tea sitting there sipping something hot and bothered with some things I don't want to be talking about. I'm socking them out though, and I'm socking them in the mouth. I'm rocking them and socking them with the robots. And yo, stop. There's so much happening. There's so much happening in a world with nothing going on. I've been going. But I always seem to come back, like the yo-yos, you throw it though. But then it comes back and it rolls again like a rolling pin. It rolls you into the ground, dozes you over. You're like a bowl when you're sleeping and someone wakes you up. But this china shop, it's a place I might drop. Drop it off at the corner market, see how much I can get for it. Ideally nothing, because our treasures don't come with us to heaven. Heaven's a place that I've been to. Heaven's a place that we have the opportunity to be living in this worldly existence. We don't got to begin to wonder. We can just begin again. Because since the beginning, things have been the same. Yesterday, today, and forever. It's always just the same thing. All this time that we think we're taking, we can't take any time. Time has been given to us as a gift. But in a kind of weird way, I'd say, because it's something that we don't really understand, but we can't grab. No matter how hard we try to make it something, it just keeps running. Like the faucet, we can't stop it. Hold it in your hands till it overflows. It's like the sands. Counted the numbers of the sea. Shout out to Abraham. Got a lot of covenants. Promises that we're making to people, though. And we're all equal, bro. Equally sinful. Messing up left and right, doing things wrong. Try to right our own wrongs, but I'd rather write some songs to explain that we're just gonna keep on keeping the same state of being that we are till we're done here. It's a probation. Got an ankle monitor. Not really. But in the sense of being watched, an all-searching eye. And I certainly try to do a lot of things that I know that I shouldn't. See if I can get away with it. Last time it worked. Maybe next time too. Let's see how long I can keep going. Keep trying to do all these things I know I shouldn't. But eventually we'll get caught. Caught in the bands of death. And the only way we're going to be able to overcome that is through the one and only Savior himself. The one who died on the cross to tell death that it was time to stop taking the souls of children who were trying to do good within all their sins, just kids. Give them a break. We're breaking our necks, looking at things, passing left and right, trying to find everything that we can get in this life. Acquiring things. In choirs we sing. We sing songs of praises, the heavenly angels remind us that our God is above all. And above all, we need to realize that no matter how much we try, we're not going to improve past the point that we're supposed to. We're being governed. Like a motorcycle with a screw. Adjusting it here for the kids. Yeah, go down the road, but only pull that throttle a bit. Open it wide open when you think you know it. How to manage these things on your own, this life we've been given. You don't know what you're doing. Newsflash, neither do I. So slow down. You know, I don't. But a lot of times I think that I do. Get all misconstrued by the people around me, thinking that I'm trying to come across as the smartest kid in the room. No. That's not me. Stop trying to assume you know what's going on. And I'll try to do the same. I'm in my own lane. But it seems to be that you try and merge. And you forgot to blink. And just in the blink of an eye, we can both die. Because you're trying to get ahead. The thing is, I'd rather be the tail. Following after my shepherd. He knows his sheep. We're all of one fold. Even though we live in this world that seems so darn frigid. But the thing about fridges is it's a place to store things. Remember those treasures I mentioned? Heaven's just a place we're gonna go alone. As far as nothing that you try to wrap around the end of that little leash you're holding on to is gonna come with you. And I don't mean to trigger no one. But there's a lot of things that I just gotta say, even if I sound off. So I'm gonna put this bullet in and say, hey, let's get after it. Line up on your starting marks. It's time to run. Run the good race and fight the good fight. When are fights ever good? Unless they're against evil. And people are trying to claim that they can call good evil and evil good and do whatever they want to or think they should. It's quite a life that we've been given. The opportunity to be able to give in to sin, that's kind of weird. Paradox in itself. You know, having boxes will help as long as you're gonna ship things off to nowhere. But storing things sort of seems like you don't know what you have when you got so much. That ends up happening. In fact, I've seen some people get so lost in their own stuff, you can't even walk a foot in front of them. And they always say to just put one in front of the other. So that's why everyone's standing in such a stationary position. But people most often like to be sitting. The human body's meant to be vertical. We're on the earth we're given. There's a lot of children here, and I'm one of them. I'll be laying on my deathbed after a long life of 25. That's my age now. I'm just saying there's no need to try to see if we can live forever. When we will, after we die. The paradoxical gospel of Jesus Christ. I got a lot to offer. I really do. If you want to listen to some words that I'm saying, then great. If you don't, I'd rather you be down by the lake, taking in the scenery and seeing some things that are different than the living room that you try to consume all these bags of chip within. Not saying it's bad to eat, but it's not so great to take this life we've been given and not use your feet. Unless you can't walk, that's a whole entirely different story. Everyone's got their own situations. But I just got some things that I've been saying, trying to speak on universal truth. The universe is youth. In other words, we're all just kids in the grand scheme of things. A lot of people like to rely on something that has no name He's got a name. It's not the same praying to the universe. Who's that? Who are you expecting to answer? Because anyone might. And you might not be so happy with the response. But when I call, he answers. The one on the other end of the line. The one that dictates the thing that I'm dictated by, which is time. I'm not trying to find anything more in this life than Christ. As much as I leave in the past, he brings to my grasp some things that I need to put more attention on. Some things that span my attention. Can I just mention that I'm sinful? I'm messing up left and right and left. And I'm looking for hooks to try to pull myself out of this water. A southpaw, more like the South Pole. Deep sea fishing. I don't know. Each time I try to grab something, it just tends to slip from me. But isn't it sweet to be able to mess up? To be given the opportunity to go through things that at first we think are going to help. And then we find out that we've been doing things wrong all along. Trying to make a salad of seaweed. Fishing for kelp. Looking on Yelp on the internet. Try to find the answers for things that are right in front of us. Driving a bus full of people to take them somewhere we never wanted to go. Quite a strange life we live. And then we give our kids the whole spiel about how they should behave. When we were a kid of the same age doing the same things. It's crazy. Lately we seem to be more blind than ever. And we're looking at more things than we've ever seen. It's quite strange. What I'd like us all to realize is we don't have the reins. You know, these horses, they're just running. A colt, a stallion. Imagine trying to create a flower, trying to create some grass, trying to actually put together this little kid that you've created out of the flesh that you are. You didn't actually make that thing. We didn't actually make any. I think a lot of us just really like pretending that we're in control and that we're in charge. We're so fast and we can get in front because we got these cars. Like we're invincible and indestructible as long as the blame gets placed on someone else for the mistakes that we make. Yeah, I'd like to make a change. I'd like to make a toast to the people who think that equal is the most absurd type of thing that we could think that we can be. Because it's you guys that are throwing us off. But I'd rather be overboard than sitting here and being bored of what you're saying. Trying to explain to people that we're not all the same. Because you've got the degrees and you've got the things and you've got the abilities to be controlling people around you. Stop trying to control. Put down that TV remote. And understand that you're on an island. Remotely. Sitting on a couch. Looking out at the sea of colorful lights. Portraying and displaying something that in your brain seems to be so great. It's just electricity. Just a bunch of little dots behind a screen. Plastic or glass. In fact, that's not even there. But if you get up and turn around, open the door and go out into the open air, find out that there's a real life outside. Outside's the thing that's always there. We're making some shelters to shelter us from reality, when actually that just leaves us wanting things that we can't ever have. More. It's a word that people love. Quicker, faster, again. I'll win. I'll get the top spot. I got this top knot on my head, little quail, just running around. I've been running the town, so everybody thinks. Don't let them in on my little secret, though. Getting everybody else to do my bidding. But I don't bid. I just kid people that things are worth more than they are, so they'll buy into them. There's a lot that I'm not buying. Haven't had a job in a bit. Helps you really see what's real. Things that'll never leave are the things that we don't have to achieve. The only things that are eternal. A lot of us just try to turtle up in our shells and shell out cash to people to do things for us while we sit on the beaches staring into a screen. It's crazy. You know, the things that give us oxygen and the things that we put in the tills to get the thrills, that ends up killing all of our senses when we're numbing them with the things that we drink and the things that we think are important at the parties for a minute or two. Plants versus money. One thing providing oxygen. The other one providing ways of stopping it. It's crazy how far off we get. Often just looking around, not seeing anything that's there, because we're caught in what could be. But the thing about cotton is that's not something that people even like to use anymore. They want something new in their stores. Plastic to put on a body that's natural. All right. Well, tell me how much fun you're having when you're visiting the chiropractor each month. When you're popping pills, not for the thrills now, but try to get them chills down because your body's not functioning the way it was designed. I like to turn over some hourglasses of the sands of time and try to find every little one of those specks. That's all we are, sitting here in this universal reality. People tend to think that they can make up what seems to be there. There's only one truth. That's why it trips me up. Because when I trip and stuff and someone laughs at me and says, "Hey, I'll see you next fall," it reminds me of all the times that I've messed up and needed a savior. And not the things you read on the papers about everyone who's flying around. "I'll fly you to town. I'll save you. Come pay for my 6-week plan. 8-week program. Do this and do that. It only takes a lifetime of selling yourself." I don't need it. I only need one. The one that never leaves. The one that gave me all the things that at certain times I say I don't even want. I try to go get something I do. And I fall. You need to get back up. But I don't want to back up. I want to keep steamrolling ahead. It's crazy being allowed to make our own choices. Being so loud and not making any noises. Making a ruckus and a complaint over every little thing. As human beings, we're allowed to complain about stuff that we don't understand and try to tell people how it should be. Do I sound like I'm complaining? Well, good. If we're already mixing up good and bad, then we might as well paint the hero as a villain. There's something about humility that isn't what it seems. There's something about this modern day where everything's on a screen. Everybody gets their information from somebody else. As if that person's smarter than you, knows more than 2, 3, 100. Got a lot of people in a class trying to grasp some concepts, but that's all they are. I'd rather step out of that schoolyard, look up at the sky, see things for how they really, truly will always be. Because no matter what I think or what I want to try to make something, I can't change it. It all gets tainted the more that we think that we know. Yeah. We're driving ourselves crazy, turning the boat into an iceberg and complaining that we sank. I don't mean literally turning it into an iceberg. I mean heading toward things that we know will cause us to sink. And expecting to just, forgive after the fact. Act now and ask questions later. Times and places, for sure. But that's where we should be heading. Land ho. Trying to find a place to be grounded before we're in the ground dead. With no chance to do that anymore. Because when I die, I want to be in a blissful state. And I don't want to be trying to find that beforehand. It's kind of strange. If we put away all our desire to be happy, then we'll realize that's something we can't be all the time. We're here to experience and have a breadth of that. The sadness, the happiness, all these things you can't miss because they're right in front of you. You're making fun of who? Going through the same stuff as the guy speaking? I'd like to think that we're even. That's why I like to stay out of games. I don't like to play, I don't like to pay. Because those things just put one above another. And as we're told, there's no greater love than someone laying down their life for his brother. And I see people calling out on the lifelines trying to find the answers to a game show to beat someone else. A lot of things get quite skewed. Yeah. Soaring, new heights. This is new, right? To me, it looks the same as everything else. Something that'll be gone in an instant. Instantaneous. Gets pretty strenuous. Because the second you think you're ahead, it's good to take some time. It's really good to take some time. I'm going to say the third. It's really good to take some time. Allowing a little bit of a pause between the things that we try to get our claws into. We'll tear some things up that we can't repair. To get our plane in the air, to get across the waters, it's like skipping rocks. Land on one of them. The more you try to skip, the more potential you have to fall in. A lot of traps. Trapeze artists. We've been trapping all this knowledge in our minds that we think actually matters. Then we ask people, what's the matter? When they're just experiencing normal things that a lot of other people seem to not have to. The reason is they're in a constant state, constantly away, avoiding all of it, which is something you can't do. It all comes crashing down at the end, every single wave. There's no way to escape. We all just need to try to surrender. Today's the 4th of January, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, and this is In the Image Clothing Company music. Thank you.